here to present the lecture on recruitment. My name is Mohini Dhiman. So here are the contents of the topic, what we would be studying. So first we would be studying about the recruitment, the processes of recruitment, recruitment policy, source of recruitment, technique of recruitment, and what are the practices which are being followed in India. So what would be the learning outcomes after studying or having a look on this session? We would be able to understand the meaning of recruitment. We would be able to understand the process of recruitment. We'll be able to get a glance the sources of recruitment and recruitment policy. We would be able to understand what are the practices which are there in India, and Indian companies are following the practices. So, meaning of recruitment. Recruitment is the process of searching prospective employees and simulating and encouraging them to apply for job in the organization. So, basically, it is a searching platform where n number of people are applying for the job. They are searching for the required job. So, recruitment actually develops with the need. So, what is the need of recruitment? Recruitment are having three types of need: planned, anticipated, and unexpected. Talking about the planned need, it means change in the organization and change in the policies, retirement policies. It would also include the change in the organization policies as well, where we are talking about hiring the people. We are even talking about over here the understaffing and overstaffing concept as well. Talking about the anticipation need include movement in the trend on environment. So what is the prevalent, what things are going in the environment, and what are the business cycles, and according to that the recruitment need changes. Talking about unexpected, there is a sudden resignation from the subordinates or the superior, so that would be unexpected need. Talking about the another unexpected need, that is death and accident. We're moving ahead with the next slide. So basically, recruitment is bringing together those who wants the job and those with job to fill and those who are seeking jobs. So actually, it is balancing the both things. The one who are actually searching the job and the one the companies which are actually want the employees to join. Talking about the process of recruitment, so we begin with the human resource planning. So the first primemost step of any organization while they go for the recruitment process, they first of all do the human resource planning. Human resource planning means they would be just getting a glance like how many people they require for in the organization for upcoming task or maybe a target to achieve. So we would be just checking the requisition. So human resource department receives the requisition for recruitment from any department of the company. So there are n number of departments in the organization, like we have HR, we have finance, we have operations, we have sales. So those all the department heads, they would be sending the requisition that we require the employees and what sort of employees they want in the organization. So human resource planning also include demand forecasting, and it also include the supply forecasting. So basically we would be doing the forecasting thing, like how many people we require for completion of the target, and right now how many people we are having in the organization. So either we can go for internal source of recruitment or either we would be going for external source of recruitment. So first step is, it generally begins with human resource department, and they receives the requisition for recruitment for any department of the company. Moving ahead with the next step, first we get the demand or we get the requisition, how many people we require. Then we formulate the next step. We would be locating and developing the sources of the required number and type of employees. So we would be checking like what sort of people we would be requiring, and from where we can hire them, and how many people we require in the organization. So let's suppose we are running short of staff in sales management. So how many people can be hired for that particular position, and what sort of the skills will be required for that particular profile. So we would be basically designing the sources. We would be designing the sources of the required number, how many people we require, and what types of employees we would be requiring, whether technical, whether skilled, whether unskilled. Moving ahead with the next step, we would be identifying the prospective employees with the required characteristics. So once the requisition is done, once we are aware how many people we require, then we would be checking with the internal sources that whether we can go for internal hiring. Then later on, we would be checking the sources, like from where we would be getting the people, from where we would be getting the capable candidates or the employees, and then we would be later on moving ahead with the prospective employees. Next step is talking about communicating the information about the organization, the job, and the terms and conditions of the services. So basically, what we'll do over here, after getting the requisition, after knowing how many people we require in each department, we would be having a glance like which profiles are vacant, and then we would be going for job design. So job design is basically done with two perspectives: job description and job specification. Job description is basically providing you an idea like what the company wants from you, what are the roles and responsibilities for that particular profile, what is the CTC. If you are applying for the job, so what sort of CTC or the remuneration you would be getting. Then you would be also specifying the location, like where the post or the position is vacant. So basically over here we are just telling the employees, we are just making the idea like what sort of employees we want. Fine. So we would be telling them the terms and conditions to the employees by making job description. Talking about job specification, so it would be will be made by the HR department, human resource, which would be specifying you that these are the positions and who all can apply. So basically they are talking about over here the education qualification, they are also talking about the experience, and they are also talking about the intellectual skills or the technical skills. So the fourth step is talking about the job description and the job specification. Moving ahead, now we have made the job description and job specification. Now it's time to go for the right sources of recruitment. So basically now we know which all are the potential candidates. So we would be using either the internal source of recruitment or the external source of recruitment, and we would be encouraging the identified candidates to apply for the job in the organization. So maybe we would be floating the job opportunity or the job advertisement of our organization in various e-portals, like we have Naukri, Monster, Time, Indeed, Shine, and so on. Talking about the another one, last step, it's talking about the evaluating effective of recruitment process. So over here, we would be just getting a glance like what all steps we have used before, whether they have worked properly or not. So it would be just giving an idea that whether we have done the correct human resource planning, that whether we have just analyzed the demand properly or not, because it would be giving us the idea like whether the recruitment process was successful. And many companies go for the previous evaluation process of effective recruitment. Why? Because recruitment is a very costly process. So they would be just checking that whether our first step of human resource planning has been done properly. Next, whether the job design was designed perfectly, whether we have searched the right platform for finding the potential candidates or not. So basically, evaluating is just talking about the controlling step. If this time the recruitment process is not successful, so what we'll do, we would be later on making a good step next time for a better recruitment policy. So I'm moving ahead with the next slide. Okay, it's talking about the recruitment policy. So what is a policy? It's basically a framework. So recruitment policy specifies the objective of recruitment and provides a framework for implementation of recruitment program. So it's just giving an idea what sort of framework we have to follow and how it need to be executed. So recruitment policy involves employer commitment to such general principles as to find and employ the best qualified person for each job. So that phenomena works over here, right person at right job. So yes, we have to find the capable candidate for the capable position, for the right position. If let's suppose we are not hiring the right person for the right job, definitely there would be collisions and later on it would result to absenteeism, and later on absenteeism may result into number of people will leave the organization as well. So it's the recruitment, the employer need to find and employ the best qualified person for each job. The next step, the next point is talking about to retain the most promising of those hired. So it's very important nowadays, like we can find n number of people in the market because there are n number of capable candidates in the market, but the very important thing is how to retain them. As I have already told you that recruitment is a very costly process. So nowadays companies, organizations are working to retain them. How? If we have selected the people, how can we retain those people, those employees or the workers in the organization for at least 10 to 15 years? So that we have to make a sound policy for same. Next, to offer promising opportunities for lifetime working career. Nowadays, the candidates or the employees, the candidates who are searching for the job, they are very much aware about the opportunities or the working career prospect. So they want a development in the organization also. They won't be there in the organization working in a same profile. So we as the recruiters or we as the employer should have a policy for providing them the opportunities for the lifetime working career. So we even need to work for their career progression if they are working in our organization. To provide facility and opportunity for growth on the job. So yes, we have to provide them French, non-French benefits, plus we have to provide them other facilities also so that they can grow in the organization. They can lead in that very organization for at least 10 to 15 years. So moving ahead to the next slide, it's talking about the sources of recruitment. So what are the sources? I'm already discussed in the previous slides also that there are two sources of internal recruitment sources. First is internal search. Next one is external search. Even we can say that internal sources and external sources. Moving ahead with the first one, that is internal source. So what would be included in the internal source? It would include two things, that is transfer or promotion. So we would be studying now this internal search and internal source is same. So talking about internal search, organization that promotes from within identifying current employees for job opening. So what we would be doing over here, we would be just promoting the current employees who are working in the organization for any job opening. Why? Because we know that employee Another thing, we won't be going with a lengthy recruitment process of hiring people. So it's many a times companies go for internal hiring or internal sources of recruitment. They follow the internal sources of recruitment. So what are the internal sources? First is promotion, another one is transfer. So let's take an example. There is a company which has their branches in 4 zones all over India. So let's suppose East zone is having less number of people, or they are having the issue of understaffing. And so what we would be doing in that case, we would be doing the transfer of the capable candidate from the headquarter maybe, or from the north zone to the east zone. We would be transferring the person so that that fellow can handle the position or handle the work in the eastern zone. So by this way we can go for the internal search, and then we can go for internal source of recruitment. Next one is promotion. Promotion includes, like, we would be if the employee is working in our organization for at least 5 to 10 years, so what we would be doing, we would be promoting, we would be checking his performance, and according to the performance appraisal we would be giving him the promotion, and we would be transferring him to the another, maybe to the zone, or maybe we would be promoting him in the same zone or the headquarter, and he would be handling the position of the superior. And it would also, like, some of the organizations, they also go for succession planning as well. So internal search, organization that promotes from within and identifying current employees for the job opening. So how we would be doing that? By using the HR management system. So nowadays we have management system where everything is compiled, and we can randomly check the education, qualification and experience. From there, that is basically a database which is having all the information about the employees who are working in the organization, by utilizing employees referral. So that is very important, employee referral. Talking about employee referral, what is employee referral? Current employees can be asked to recommend to recruit. So right now, if any person is working in the organization, so we would be asking that employee or that person to provide us the referral, so that we can recruit the other person for the job opening. So what are the advantages of employee referral? Employees motivate to make a good recommendation. As you know, that fellow is already working in the organization, so he would be motivated enough, and he would be also recommending a great or a good employee. The availability of accurate job information for the recruit. So we would be also getting the plenty of information about the one that person is recommending. So next, employee referral trend to be more acceptable, applicants more likely to accept an offer and have a higher survival rate. So it's more applicable. Why? Because the employee is already giving you the idea, like what sort of that person is, and another thing, he would be that success, the survival rate would be more. So there are certain sort of disadvantages as well. Sometimes, we, if given the opportunity for providing the employee referral, we go for we actually recommend our friends, and that actually leads to low productivity. So the possibility of friendship being confused with the job performance. So yes, we sometimes indulge in more into friendship and like more into other relations rather than working for the organization. So sometimes it actually be it's not a right right source which we can use. Next, potential for nepotism, potential for adverse impact. Yeah, so there are certain situations where employee referral is not good, but many companies, many corporate sectors are going for the employee referral, so that the employees can recommend the employees for the recruitment. Moving ahead with the next source, the external source. So external source of recruitment is hiring from outside, not from inside the organization, but we are making the hirings from the external sources. So first is educational and training institute, media advertisement, employment exchange, factory gate recruitment, labor contractors, walk-in, e-recruitment. So talking about the educational and training institute. So educational institute includes campus placement. Nowadays, what companies are doing, they are going to the various institutes, they are going to educational institutes and they are making the direct hirings. They are hiring the capable candidates from the campus itself. So they go for the various selection process, like we can like if we are having the organization, we can go for 3 selection process, like we can go for first of all online test, then the group discussion, maybe next one panel interview. So similarly, the educational and training institutions are the right external sources for the recruitment. Talking about media advertisements, so we are using the audio visual communications or audio-visual modes of communication for floating the information. Now, what is audio and visual? So, radio, televisions and newspapers, print media as well. Radio, like there are in All India Radio, we have local stations as well where we float the information regarding the job openings. Specifically, it is done for the government sector, but nowadays the corporate sectors or the private sectors are also floating the information in radio, televisions and print media, that is newspaper. So let's take the example of Tribune. If you are a reader, so every Wednesday we have the option of jobs and career, where you get the option of the jobs which are nearby your area. Talking about the third process, that is employment exchange. So government has made the provision to enroll yourself in the employment exchange, and accordingly the sectors, the private sectors or the public sectors, they are actually selecting you from the employment exchange itself. Next is factory gate recruitment. Factory gate recruitment includes there is a notice board where we would be writing the information and we can directly apply over there. Talking about the next, that is labor contractor, where the contractors are actually hiring the contractual workers, and we won't be hiring the contractual workers on our own, but we would be just contacting the contractor and he would be providing us the laborers, like for the supervision, or maybe the one who would be just checking what is there in the what work need to be done in the organization or the factory. Talking about the walk-in, so yes, that is another external source of recruitment where we can go for a walk-in. Like if we are having any source of art, so we can go for the interview on our own. Talking about the e-recruitment, e-recruitment is where we would be using the e-platforms for hiring the candidates. So we would be using the social media platforms, we would be using the career-oriented sites for hiring the people. So recruiting sources, I have already told, external search, like advertisement must decide the type, location of ad, depending on the job, decide whether to focus on. So I have already talked about job description and job specification. 3 factors which influence the response rate, that is identification of organization, labor market conditions, the degree to which specified recruitments or requirements are listed. Next, recruiting source or the external source is employment agencies or exchange, which I've already talked about. Public or state employment services focus on helping unemployed individuals with lower skills level to find the job. So yes, we are having employment agencies in various states where you can register yourself and the capable candidates are selected or shortlisted by the company directly. Talking about the private employment agencies, which provide more comprehensive services and perceive to offer positions and applicant of the higher caliber. Talking about management consultancy firms, so we have headhunters which actually search the candidate, the potential candidates. Talking about executive search firm, which search the profiles for top and middle level management people, like the one who handle the position of CEO or board of directors or other reputed positions, and the I would say the mindsetters or the decision maker of the organization. So we have executive search firm for the same. Talking about the another source which I have already discussed, that is educational and the training institutes. So schools, colleges, universities may provide entry level or experienced worker through their placement services. So every educational institution now are having a training and placement office where we are hiring the capable candidates from the campus itself. May also help the company to establish a cooperative education assignments and internships. So couple of companies are also going for internships as well, which is actually enhancing the candidates. So next one is job fair. So many companies, they go for job fairs. So attending, it is basically attended by the company recruiters seeking resume and info for the qualified candidates. So we go for job fairs as well, where couple of companies, they go and they select the candidates. Virtual online fairs as well, which actually bring the potential candidates and the employers or the recruiters together by the platforms, and they can hire the potential candidates. Online sources, so most of the company use internet to recruit the employees. Job seekers use online resumes and creative web pages about their qualification. So we, as I've already told you, like there are n number of job platforms like Monster, we have Indeed, Yahoo Hot Jobs and other sources as well. So you can even go for these sources for recruiting or for hiring the people. So what are the other sources? There are recruiting the alternatives, or there are other sources as well. Temporary help service. Temporary employees help organization meet short-term fluctuation in the human resource need. So there are certain temporary help services as well. If we are running short of the short of staff, so we can even use the same. Next is employee leasing. We would be training the workers. Trained workers are employed by leasing company, which provides them to employers when needed for a flat fee. So basically, we are just making the employees, we are just training them, we are guiding them what work is required, and whenever their need is there, we would be helping the organization. So that is employee leasing. Independent contractors, so do specify work either on or off the company's premises. So we have contractors as well who have their own laborers or the staff, which can be used when required. So techniques of recruitment methods or techniques are the means by which an organization establishes contact with the potential candidates, provide them necessary information and encourage them to apply for the job. So we have direct method, indirect method and third party method. Internet party method. Direct method include directly recruiting or hiring the people from the educational or training institutes, or we can go for the walk-in platform as well. Indirect method, we would be opting for the external sources of the recruitment, we would be opting for all the external sources of recruitment for the indirect method. Third party method include the consultancy, where we would be hiring the people from the consultancies, management consultancies, and we would be giving them the contract to hire the people for us. Internet party method, where we are using the digital platform, social media platforms or career oriented sites, and that method is used for internet party method. So next is moving ahead, I am talking about the practices which are there in India. We basically go for internal sources, we go for transfers and promotions rather than going for a lengthy process of external source, because we have to go for HRP, we have to go for job design. So rather than going for that, we go for internal sources. We also go and check the employees with the employment exchange. We go for campus recruitments. We select the potential capable candidates. If any organization requires, we hire the people from campus recruitment. Next is consultants. We actually approach the consultants and they are actually doing entire hiring and the selection process for us. Next is employee referral. That is the internal source. So if right now I am working in an organization, I would be given the task to hire or maybe to provide a reference of mine so that that fellow can join the organization. So thank you so much.